Hello, everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Tuesday, November 10th, and we have one meeting to tell you about today, and it will be live right here on Village Television after our morning broadcast of This Day. It'll be at 9:30 or around there, and it is the United Board Annual Organizational Meeting, and as I mentioned, that will be live right here on Village Television. All right, on our show today, we have our Director of Security, Carlos Rojas, and he and I talk a lot about a variety of different things, especially about the holidays coming up here and theft, so you want to tune in to hear about some great advice that he has for us. And then we're also going to be talking to Susan McInerney, who is here with Social Services, and just a reminder that they are there for you, and she's going to tell you all the things that they can help you out with. All right, let's go ahead and give you our regular resources like we normally do for COVID-19. COVID19.ca.gov is where you can follow along with the governor's plans. And then you can go to OCHealthInfo.com is where you can get all of the numbers for COVID-19 coronavirus infections, that are hospitalizations, ICU. You can get all of that at OCHealthInfo.com. Or you could call their hotline, which is 714-834-2000. Or you could go to our website, which is LagunaWoodsVillageAlerts.com. And you can email us any questions or concerns to info@LagunaWoodsVillage.com. Now, our weather is looking quite lovely this week. We aren't expecting any rain, maybe a little drizzle as we head into the weekend, but nothing extraordinary. How about that picture? Beautiful sunrise, could be sunrise, sunset, we don't know. But nonetheless, it is going to be nice and cool all week. Sunny and cool today with a high of 67. Cool tomorrow, 66, 44. Sunshine, 67 and 50 on Thursday. A little bit cloudy on Friday, 65, 54, and then some low clouds and cooler on Saturday, 66, 53. So very nice all week. Now, our sunrise this morning was 6:19, and our sunset will be 4:51. And this is a little twist on a bundt cake. It is glazed brown sugar bundt cake. And you can get this delicious recipe at ahead of time, notice the spelling, aheadoftime.com. However, if you have a delicious recipe that you would like to share with us, please send the recipe and the photo to Laguna Woods Village TV at gmail.com, and we will share that with our residents. Now, stay tuned, and we will have Carlos Rojas, our Director of Security.
People with hearing loss only know the way they hear, not how much better they should be hearing. How well are you hearing? Are you understanding 60% or maybe only 30%? You don't know unless someone measures your hearing understanding ability. People are wearing hearing aids that are underfit with power, not programmed properly, the physical fit is too loose or too tight. Find out what your understanding score is with a special word test from Advanced Ear Care. Stop in today and tell them Stuart sent you.
We're a family business. I have my wife, my two sons that work in the business with me. So we really actually are a family-run business. We call them our extended family. We do it from the moment they walk into the office. We actually have personal relationships and friendships with our clients.
They're not just a client, they are part of our friends and family.
That's what we do here at Sterling Financial Advisors. We help people get peace of mind and quality of life in retirement.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by the Director of Security, Carlos Rojas, who is here to talk to us about a number of different things, especially with the holidays coming up. Well, Carlos, so nice to see you. It's been a while.
Great to see you, Lisa.
Well, thanks for being with us today. And I know there's a couple of things that are coming up for the holidays, but most importantly, you know, those fires were quite a scare for many people, and we were super affected from the smoke. But, you know, tell me some of the concerns that, you know, residents had and they called into your office.
Well, yeah, we did receive numerous calls regarding the smoke, of course. And I know TV6 did put out an advisory about the unhealthy air. So I think that was well warranted. But we did have some folks who wanted a code red to go out, which is our emergency notification system to all the residents. And we had to explain to them how the system works, and then also really explain that it complements the county system, and it's really a redundant system to the county system. So to really simplify and describe it, it doesn't replace the county system, it works with the county system. So the last thing we would want to do for our residents in the village is to give contradictory information between us and the local authorities, whether it's the sheriff's department or the fire department.
So tell me what their system is called.
Their system is called Alert OC, and it's a reverse 911 system. So everybody is automatically, if they have a landline, registered in that system. If you don't have a landline, I do encourage people to go on the Alert OC website and register their cell phones, and they can also get text messages as well. But that is the county system. Now, the Code Red system is the village's emergency notification system, and that does require an opt-in. So we encourage everybody to register, and they can do that on the lagunawoodsvillage.com homepage. On the top left-hand corner, you'll see the words Code Red, and it's a simple form that can be filled out and submitted. And that places you on our emergency notification list. So, keep in mind, in the event of an emergency, we would have numerous communications at various levels with county authorities. So whether you're on the Alert OC, our emergency notification system, Code Red, or even a member of one of our boards or committees, there's going to be numerous lines of communication. And what we want to do is really get the word out, make sure that the information is correct and accurate in the event that we need to use one of those emergency notification systems.
So in regards to the fires that we had, I mean, the only people that were alerted were those that were in the evacuation zones. Is that correct?
That's correct. In the Orange County Fire Authority, they have a very robust emergency communication system in place, and they do both warnings, evacuation warnings, basically people alerting people that there may be an evacuation and they can voluntarily evacuate. And then they also have the mandatory evacuation orders as well. So at Laguna Woods Village, we did not experience any of that. So we weren't in any fire threat. We were in communication with both the Sheriff's Department and the Orange County Fire Authority. And had there been a threat to the village, we would have coordinated a message to go out in our emergency notification system.
So that's great. So let's just assume the village has some sort of a threat from a fire. I mean, we do have some mountains around here that could be on fire. So what would happen is, would Code Red go first, or would the reverse 911 go first?
Well, what we would do, we would coordinate that message with the county, because if they're instructing the residents in the village to shelter in place, we don't want to send out a message to have everybody evacuate, of course.
Right.
So it would depend on the dynamics of the fire, of the threat, and then they would almost go out simultaneously, if you will. And then, of course, we're going to pivot off of what the county wants us to do. We don't want to create a bigger problem for our first responders.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for the clarification, because I don't think people necessarily realize that there were two different systems, but nonetheless, thank you for clarifying that. So obviously we have Thanksgiving, shopping, Christmas. I mean, I'm a little perplexed because Christmas is already here in the stores. And I mean, we just bypassed Thanksgiving. So tell me, what are some concerns that you want to alert the residents about?
Well, so of course, every holiday season, people get busy. You have family members coming over, you're buying gifts, you're getting caught up with folks maybe that you haven't talked to in a while. So there's a lot going on and people have a lot on their minds. So from a security standpoint, it's very important that they place any valuables or any purchases in the trunk of their cars where it's not visible to somebody just walking by. And I'm not only talking goods that are purchased, but also purses or anything of value. Oftentimes people think, oh, hey, I'll leave my sunglasses on the seat, and they may not view it as something of value, but somebody that may be walking by who has nefarious intentions may think it's of value to them, and they may break the window or open the door. So that gets me to my next point. It's very important for our folks to lock those doors on their cars. Oftentimes, we do have situations where folks leave their car unlocked, and then there's a saying that goes, opportunity makes the thief. And we don't want to give anybody the opportunity to steal our property, whether it's, in or around our manor or inside our vehicles. And then that brings me to my third point, Lisa, is that our packages that get delivered, let's make sure that we don't leave them out in front of the door for extended periods of time, and let's bring them inside the house and make sure that you're tracking your packages. All that's very important.
Yeah, I was going to actually ask you about that, but I'm glad you brought that up, because more and more people, especially with COVID, we weren't really going anywhere because nothing was open. We've been buying a lot of stuff online, and some people have packages just piled up on their doorstep. Have you had many situations that are concerning regarding those packages?
At this point, we have not, but the possibility is always there, just because are a lot of packages that are being delivered. And it's very convenient for folks to order, especially right now during the pandemic, to order via online and have it delivered. And so we just want to create that or increase that situational awareness for all our residents and make sure that they watch out for their neighbors as well. If you see something that's been sitting out in the porch for a significant period of time, you might want to bring it to your neighbor's attention.
That's awesome. Awesome advice. Okay, so obviously we've been dealing with COVID-19 for quite some time, and we've been great about wearing the masks and social distancing. Let's talk a little bit about the resolution that was put into place.
Sure. Well, the resolution did expire. So it's very important for folks to know that we have reverted back to the state and county guidelines. And you'll still see all VMS employees will be wearing masks in their vehicles and where they're providing service to the public. But it should be noted that for our residents, the requirement is really for them to follow state law and laws of the county as it relates to COVID-19.
Yes, and I believe the majority of our residents are following the guidelines that are put out by the governor and our state and our local county. So good for them. But again, thank you for the reminder. Well, it's very nice to see you. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to meet with us.
Great seeing you as well. Thank you for having me. And then happy holidays to all our residents, of course.
All right. We'll talk to you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back after this.
It was just a get-together with friends. No big deal. Everybody felt fine. Now, I'm super sick. Everyone is sick. I just wish we had been more careful. It would have been easier than this. So wear a mask. Do what you can outside. Stay 6 feet apart. Because some things you just can't take back.
Do your part to lower the risk. As Orange County's highest-ranked hospital, Hoag is the place to turn to for timely information, reassurance, and care in these uncertain times. Our dedicated physicians, nurses, and staff stand ready to safely deliver world-class care, just as we have for nearly 70 years. This is what we do. We are here for you, and we will overcome this together. To access Hoag for all of your healthcare needs, visit hoag.org/trust.
Welcome back. Today I am joined by Susan McInerney, who is here on behalf of Social Services. Well, it's so nice to finally see you again after all these months. How are you?
I'm good. I was just thinking, I think the last time I was on was the very beginning of all of this. So it's been about 5 months, I think. Yeah.
It has, and nobody thought it would last this long. So it's been really crazy. But you know, you guys are still doing your thing. You're still in business. You're still helping people. And, you know, I think all of our staff is really just modified and adapted and doing the best that we can. So let's just remind everybody what Social Services is.
Yes. So Social Services is part of VMS. We've been here since the early 70s, really. Our mission is very different from others' departments. We are our mission is to help enhance the lives of village residents, and to maintain independence. So what we can do to make your life a little better, make sure you're doing the best you can. And man, have we been doing that a lot recently, helping people figure out what they can do to manage during this time.
Give me an example of how you would help someone.
Yeah, so recently, part of what we do, I'll kind of run through part of what our service is. We do short-term counseling. We do a lot of long-term planning. We do emergency services, which means someone who had a fall or someone who got a scary diagnosis, someone whose husband or spouse, wife is struggling with some sort of a physical or mental health issue. We're here to support in any way we can. Typically that's it's referrals and resources to the community at large, what is out there that can help. But then when we bring it in-house, it's counseling from we're all about to be or are licensed clinical social workers. So we have the background, we're trained in therapy. We can't do long-term traditional ongoing counseling just because there's not that many of us and there's a lot of community members. So we tend to stick to focused, solution-focused therapies, what we can do right now to make life better.
Okay. And I guess, so when I talk to other departments, such as senior services, they talk a little bit about the same kinds of things, although I think most of their stuff is really run on volunteer basis.
Yeah.
So do you run that way too, or do you have a staff?
We have a staff. We have, what's unique about us is we have a core staff of social workers, and we have an intake coordinator, and we have the friendly visitor coordinator that are VMS employees. And then what I find exciting about our department is we have partnerships with Saddleback Hospital, with Council on Aging, and Alzheimer's Orange County. And they have housed social workers within our department under my supervision, but provide direct services to residents. With the focus, whatever their focus on. So Council on Aging is more the friendly visitor program. The hospital is on fall prevention and health. And then Alzheimer's, we're focusing on memory issues.
Okay, great. Well, that's good to know, because I wanted to clarify that you do have staff and people are licensed and that type of thing.
Yeah, in fact, we don't have, the volunteer program we have is through Friendly Visitor, but through the social work aspect of it, we have no volunteers only because we are strictly confidential. Everything we do. I know there's a lot of residents that want to come into our department and help, but it would hinder a little bit if you knew you were coming in to get counseling when your neighbor might be volunteering in the program. So we try and make it as neutral and absolutely we're confidential in all of our services.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Now, let's talk a little bit about how you have adjusted. COVID-19, obviously you can't have people come in for memory training or, any other types of in-person training. So how have you adapted?
So in the very beginning, we all went home immediately and worked from home. It's been a few months where we've been working from home. We started to come into the office a little bit now, but we're not all at the same time. There's always a social worker in the office. But through all of that, we've been doing telehealth services. So we are, a lot of what we do is through this platform of Zoom and through the telephone. It's a little tricky. We've been using, for some emergency services, we've been relying more on our security to go out and put their eyes on the situation. And we work very closely with Adult Protective Services, the crisis assessment team through the county. So we work together in that way where they're out in the field.
Okay. Yeah. And now how about coming up? Do you guys have some programs? I mean, I know you said that you're starting to come back into the office now, but I still think residents really aren't being seen in person. Yeah. So what are some programs that you're going to have going forward?
So as I think you've already talked to, I know you already talked to Kathy Delfana, we have adapted the Friendly Visitor program for the Buddy program. So that has been enhanced so everyone still can volunteer and get services through a Friendly Visitor program through the phone. But another thing I'm really excited about is we're working on adapting curriculum for a Zoom support group directly designed for socially isolated older adults. So it's going to be a good one because it's going to focus more on the mental health component. There's a lot right now of anxiety in the air, uncertainty. So we're going to talk more about give you kind of strategies, hands-on strategies on how to help reduce anxiety, how to take more control of a situation in your life. Everything we're seeing, everyone's anxiety is a little bit higher now with COVID and the elections. We're getting a lot more calls for mental health services than we usually do.
Wow.
So this will be a great outlet for people to have a group of people within the village where they can connect with and get some good strategies.
I think that's a great idea, because I think most people, which, I'm not complaining because more people are watching our channel. However, and we're trying to promote positivity and good stuff, but when you tune into some of the other stations, you are looking at an awful lot of negativity. He said, she said, and like you mentioned, the election. So we certainly want to make sure that our residents are feeling good and not feeling isolated or feeling down. And I do believe from some of the doctors that I'm talking to, this is going to be the outcome of COVID-19, is a lot of very upset, unhappy people. Yeah.
And what I find interesting when I think about it is we've done a lot of groups in the history of social services. I've been here on and off for over 10 years. And the thing that I've seen that people do, how they adapt best to aging, is to be able to pivot and change and be flexible and understand that not everything is going to be the way that you might have expected it to be, which is weirdly lines up with what we're going through right now too. The same advice applies. So I'm trying to tell people, just take a breath, control what you can control, vote and eat well, take a break from the TV when you can, just take a breather, because I think people are getting themselves so revved up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my father's 90 and he's about this level of anxiety right now.
Yeah.
So, and you try to talk to them and help them out. It's, like you said, just take a deep breath. It's not going to affect your immediate, outcome, I think, is what they need to understand. So good stuff. Well, I'm really glad that you were able to take the time to meet with me, and I'm glad you guys are coming back to the office. I think we're all trying to, over the course of the next few months, to get back to some sort of normalcy. So thank you. Good stuff over there.
Thank you so much. And and please, if anyone has any concerns, just give us a call. We'd be happy to talk. Yeah.
Okay. Great, Susan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay. And we'll be right back after this.
Silver
and gold. Consider it sold.
The Jewelry Box of Lake Forest will buy your gold, diamonds, fine watches, coins, and sterling serviceware, regardless of condition. With metals at an all-time high, now is the time to sell. Visit us in person or shop online from the comfort of home.
Silver and gold. Consider it sold.
At the Jewelry Box, it's about trust.
Now there's a new way to buy a new Lexus. It's called Car Dash. Only available at SouthCountyLexus.com. It's amazingly simple.
Visit SouthCountyLexus.com, select and reserve your new or pre-owned vehicle that comes with a 5-day love it or leave it guarantee. Apply for credit, calculate your payment, and even appraise your trade-in. You can even have the vehicle delivered. All online, saving you valuable time.
Push a button, get a Lexus. At South County Lexus, different is amazing.
Oscar the Grouch here to tell you, to wear a mask out in public around other people. Sure, it'll keep you healthy, but more importantly, I won't have to see your happy, smiling face. And if you don't want to wear a mask, I've just got one thing to tell you. Scram! Go away!
Caring for each other because we are all in this together.
So wear a mask and have a rotten day, will ya?
Welcome back. So tomorrow is Veterans Day, and we will not be having a ThisDay program. However, I wanted to let you know that our Assemblywoman Connie Petrie Norris is holding a Veterans Day celebration. That will be a virtual one, and she's holding it live on her Facebook page. and it's in honor of our Orange County veterans. Well, we happen to have a Laguna Woods resident, Gary Bain, who is going to be honored tomorrow in that celebration. And let me just give you a little background on him. He has been in a variety of different wars, and he has been serving in the military for quite some time. And he is just a great guy. He was in officer training school in 1966. He was a second lieutenant. He was at Travis Air Force Base as a service officer. He was in Taiwan. He was in the Philippines. He was at Barksdale Air Force Base. He was in Germany, England. I mean, he has been all over the place. And he retired as a lieutenant colonel after 22 years of active duty in the U.S. Air Force. So thank you so much, Gary Bain, for your services, and we hope that you enjoy that honor tomorrow from Assemblywoman Connie Petrie Norris, and that'll be at 11 o'clock in the morning on her Facebook page, and all you have to do is go onto Facebook and just type in her name, and it'll bring you right to her. So there you go. All right, let me go ahead and tell you about some other activities that are going on. November 15th at 2 p.m., that's this Sunday at the parking lot 5, Clubhouse 5. And then Theater Guild will be the following weekend on Saturday at 2 p.m. And they will be doing their Johnny Carson Show 2020 edition. Of course, you can get tickets, $5 per vehicle, and that is through the Recreation, Amenities Recreation ActiveNet. So you can still get those tickets. So I would hurry to get that. And then I want to tell you that the museum here locally is having a war museum. Actually, it's the county fair. The fair is having it at Fair Drive, 88 Fair Drive, Costa Mesa. It's called the Heroes Hall, and it's focusing on World War II watercolor paintings of Private Charles J. Miller. It is free admission and parking, and they have that on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 11 to 3. And you can call that number that we just had on the screen for more information. All right, and then one last thing is we have English being taught here as a second language, and you can take advantage of that online. And if you would like to participate, you can go ahead and call Recreation at 597-4273, and you can email Recreation at recreation@vmsinc.org to get additional information. Let's take one last look at our weather. It is chilly, but loving it because we can wear our sweaters and our boots and whatever else you want to wear in the winter time. We definitely are having winter. 67-48, tomorrow 66-44, Thursday 67-50. By the weekend, we are going to see some increasing cloudiness, 65-54, and then Saturday 66-53. And as we get closer to that, we may be able to project a little bit of sprinkles. Anyway, stay tuned because right after our morning program, we do have a meeting. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, we'll see you again here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Have a great day in the village. Bye-bye.
The all-new 3-row Subaru Ascent. Room for up to 8 passengers. Choice of second-row captain's chairs or bench seating. Standard eyesight driver assist technology. Coming from Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Ascent. Love is now bigger than ever.
Irvine Subaru. Get your new Subaru here with 2 years complimentary maintenance included.
We were all so worried with my grandmother living alone. She's fallen before, but thankfully we were able to keep her comfortable at home. Home safety advisors help ensure her safety by providing her with custom home modifications. Home Safety Advisors has made sure my grandmother is in good hands with top quality care. So call today to schedule your free in-home consultation and make sure your loved ones receive the care they deserve.
Tip. Toss. Take action. Don't give mosquitoes a fighting chance.